Hey everyone, this video is about when I first realized I am trans, essentially my trans epiphany story, and how I nearly died the following day. So after dropping out of university, I was incredibly depressed, and my mom thought that it would be a good idea to take a trip to Mexico to an all-inclusive resort. I didn't realize I was trans at the time, but being on a beach was really aggravating my body dysphoria. It's pretty common for trans people to feel gender dysphoria before they realize that they're trans. And being on a beach with a bunch of people in swimsuits made me feel very self-conscious about my body. I had my Amazon Kindle with me at the time, and I thought that it would be a good idea to look up what the T meant in LGBT. At the time I thought it would be some kind of weird cross-dressing thing, but I still thought that that kind of activity could help me feel more confident about myself and my identity and be more who I want to be. But then I found out that transgender was a thing, transition was a thing, and that was so much better because I could finally probably be myself, hopefully. So I started looking up all these stories from other trans people, and I found that, I actually related to a lot of this. And that's how I knew that I was trans and I did want to transition. But then the following day, I had a medical emergency. My mom and I had lunch at the hotel restaurant, and although I don't recall eating anything unusual, a couple hours later my throat was swelling up. We went to the front desk of the hotel, and it took 40 minutes for a taxi to arrive to take me to a hospital. But at this point, my throat was closing up. I was really having trouble breathing. I was incredibly uncomfortable, and things weren't looking too great for me. I was not very comfortable at the time. But then on the way to the hospital in the taxi, I felt my throat really close up, like I was legitimately having trouble breathing. I think I was very close to suffocating at the time, and I legitimately thought that I was going to die here. That I was going to die before I managed to figure out who I really was. But very thankfully, the taxi driver recognized that I was in distress, something that I don't think the hotel staff really understood, and he took me to a local doctor's clinic instead. That was very amazing of him because honestly, I don't think I would have survived the trip to the hospital. They injected me with something and I passed out for a few hours, but when I woke up, I was on a medical bed and I was alive. Sometimes trans people recognize that they are trans, but don't feel comfortable transitioning. But after this experience, I knew that I had no choice but to transition. I was very close to dying, and at that point I realized that, hey, I can't die like that. I can't have my life end before I get to be myself. I knew that I had to transition at any cost. And now 7 years later, here I am today. For a while, that experience continued to spook me. It's a tough feeling to nearly die like that. That your life essentially had no meaning, no purpose, you achieved nothing. My partner and I sometimes have existential discussions. We talk about the vastness of the universe, and the thing is, I was probably minutes away from that point, the border between life and death. But it no longer haunts me. It's sort of a reminder that life is short and you want to make the most of it that you can. So I got a lot of mosquito bites when I was in Mexico. After that medical emergency, all the bites on my body began to swell down, presumably because I was injected with antihistamine or some other medication. But the bites on my feet in particular turned a really dark color, and I thought those were going to be the scars from my ordeal. A year later, they went away, and I wish I had taken pictures. I didn't have, an iPhone or Android or anything at the time, so, no iCloud to recover my photos, yay, oops. But honestly, I thought they were going to be permanent scars from the ordeal, and I was very surprised to see them disappear. To this day, I still don't really know exactly what caused that medical emergency. I suspect it was probably an allergic reaction, but I've never had a reaction like that before. So for most of my life, I did not have a general practitioner or family doctor. I think there was a suspicion that I was allergic to a few things like peanuts and pollen, but nothing concrete came from it. Before I cut contact with my father, he told me that he thought the peanut allergy thing was just something that I made up. So yeah, I never got tested, I didn't have any sort of EpiPen. Normally I can tell when I eat peanuts because of the taste. And even when it's peanut oil and not something I can really taste, like what they use in Chinese restaurants, my throat still reacts a little. So I know that it's happening, but I've never actually had a reaction as bad as the one that I had in Mexico. I'm very grateful to be alive today. I met my partner 5 years ago, and my 7-year transition has been successful thus far. My takeaways from this story would be to take allergies seriously, make sure that you are in control of your own medical treatment, and make the most of your life because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when things are going to go poorly, when you're going to have a medical emergency and nearly die. The experience used to be a bit traumatic for me, but I've since moved on, and honestly, it's a pretty good tool for motivating yourself to get stuff done. Like, hey, things may seem bad right now, but at least you're alive and not dead. Yay, being alive is pretty fun. Starting transition was the right decision for me, and I hope that starting my YouTube channel was the right decision for everyone who wants to watch my videos. Please consider liking and subscribing so my channel can grow. And if you have a better trans epiphany story than mine, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye!